Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live. Today is Wednesday, September 2nd, 2020. We're again in the final hour of the trading day. The final hour of the trading day, and particularly the last few minutes, are my favorite time to make my buying and selling decisions for my swing trades. During the day, you have the algorithms and you have the day traders. They are the ones that are in control of the price. At the end of the day, the large financial institutions take over. They take control away from of the price from the day traders and the algorithms because they are dealing with so much size and they can move the market. So I consider them smart money, and I believe it is an edge to make your buying and selling decisions at the end of the day following what they are doing. So sorry about missing yesterday. As many of you know, Katie passed away, and dang it, I'm going to try to keep this together today. And I just couldn't do it. I'll get a hold of myself here. Hold on. Okay. But anyway, thank you for all your nice messages. I really appreciated them, and really felt the love. Dang it. I told myself I was not going to do this. But anyway, we'll get through it today. But thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And all right, so let's get on to business. The Dow Jones is up 356 points, up 1.25%. Amazing. NASDAQ is up 83 points, 0.7%. The S&P is up 44, up 1.25% today. So today the winner is the Dow Jones, and the S&P and the NASDAQ is the laggard, but not a lot. It's still up 0.7%. So anyway, pretty good day all the way around. Let's take a look here. Kamal is here. Hey, buddy. Good to see you. Thanks for the scan today. William says, hey, Kamal. Hello, Greg and team. Hello, William. Good to see you. Gary M. is here. Hey, buddy. Good to see you. Bob is here. Hello, everyone. Hello, Bob. Gary says, hope you're okay, Greg. Thank you. I appreciate that, Gary. Johan says, hi, everyone. Greg, hope you're feeling better. Yes, feeling better today. You know, it's like a big weight off my mind. Just the anticipation was the most horrible part. Miko 25, hey buddy, good to see you. Frank says, you're among friends, Greg. Thank you, Frank. Appreciate that. And thanks for that really nice poem. That was beautiful. David is here. Good to see you, David. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything's going well with the shoulder. Miko says, sorry to hear about Katie, Greg. Thank you. Yes, I'm going to miss her. Steve Burns, hey buddy, good to see you. Appreciate you being here as always an honor. Steve says, sorry about your loss, Greg. I will miss her going out. I know. Miko says she was an integral part of the sessions. I will miss her. She was the mascot, you know. Dan says, sorry, Greg. I know she's more than a pet. Yes, that's true. Tracy, hey Trace, good to see you. Appreciate you being here. Sorry I wasn't here yesterday. Hope you and Paxton are doing well. Thank you. Brian says, hey Greg and everyone, you're in my heart and prayers. Thank you, Brian. Miko says, and you really did take amazing care. She was lucky to have you. I spoiled her rotten. That's for sure. And Karen says, hey Greg, very sad to hear about Katie. My family passed away a few weeks ago. You'll feel better soon. Yes, I've been through this many times. And I'm sorry to hear that you lost your family pet, Karen. Dang it. Darn it. Okay. Here we go. But thank you, everybody. Thank you for the kind words and the kind messages, and I really appreciate it. All right, so we're going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. We're going to come back, take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, how I'm going to manage them moving forward. After that, I've had a couple day trades that I'll go over and show you after that. We'll take a look at the board. I wasn't here yesterday, so we'll have to get the board all arranged correctly. but we'll go through those. I've seen some moves on there that look pretty good today for some. And after that, we're going to talk about trader psychology, trader philosophy, get away from technicals a bit, and talk about the most important part, which I always say, and the most important part is being able to follow your plan, which goes back to trader psychology. So we're going to talk about that. After that, Kamal has been kind enough to send the results of his scanner today. When I look at my watch list, or I look at the results of Kamal's scanner, I look for a combination or confluence of indicators lining up. I look at each indicator as a potential group of buyers. And so you'll dramatically improve your chances of having a profitable trade if you're in the company with as many other buyers as possible. And the way that I try to achieve that is by looking for a confluence of indicators, or in other words, groups of buyers lining up on multiple time frames. Number two, even if you have a good confluence of indicators, you have to have a good risk to reward ratio. So if you're willing to risk $100 on a trade, you have to be able to make 200 or more based upon valid support below you, based upon valid resistance above you, and likely resistance. And the number three, always keep in mind how many correlated positions you have. You don't want to be all in tech. I mean, in this market, you kind of do, but as a general rule, you want to have different positions in different industries so that you even out your risk a little bit and you're not so correlated. And then, get outside, look at other things like gold, silver, bonds, the dollar, to diversify even more. So we're going to go down through the list. We're going to go through each one. If they look good, if one of them looks good upon first glance, I'll put them over in the possible category. If they don't look too good, I'll put them over in the not interested category. And then at the end of the day, I'll go through the potential candidates, the ones that look pretty good. I'll go through them with a fine-tooth comb and see if I can find the very, very best one. All right, and then if I find one, I'll place the trade at the end of the day after the market closes. If you have any questions for me, please let me know. Happy to answer, happy to clarify. If you'd like me to look at any stock symbols before the market closes, just put them in the chat, put an asterisk by it or an emoji so I know it's time sensitive. And then lastly, if you have any new entries from yesterday or today, or subtractions from yesterday or today, please just wait till the end of the market so that the market's closed, so I'm done trading and done teaching, and then I can take all the time we need to make sure we get those correct. All right, so that's the plan. So listen, hang tight. I'm going to run that U.S. legal disclaimer, and I will be back in about 40 seconds. Thank you. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. Okie dokie. Hey, Carol, good to see you. Carol says, hi, everyone. It looks kind of blurry on my side. I wanted to know if it's my connection. I don't know. Everything looks okay on this end, but I'm not sure. Frank has a poem. The trend is your friend, but to really comprehend, join fellow traders. It pays the biggest dividends. A trading panel is a learning channel and a lighted candle when things are so hard to handle. Oh, that's great. The trend is your friend, but to really comprehend, join fellow traders. It pays the biggest dividends. A trading panel is a learning channel and a lighted candle when things are so hard to handle. Oh, that's lovely, Frank. That's lovely. Thank you so much every day for the effort that you put into the poems. They're so pertinent and just perfect, and they rhyme, and it's awesome. Thank you, Frank. Nathan Carroll. Hey, Nathan. Hey, Greg, it's been a while. I emailed you, by the way. Nathan, I I don't know. I don't know if I got an email, to be honest with you. It's gregory@gossettrading.com, but I don't recall getting an email. So try me again, gregory@gossettrading.com. Let's take a look real quick at FEAC. Well, this one doesn't have enough bars for me to get any indicators here. Although, just by looking at this, Nathan, I don't like it because we had this big bar up and then it came all the way back, meaning that there were a lot of sellers up here to drive it all the way back down. Doesn't mean it can't get back up there, but I think it's less likely. And Frank says it's blurred to me because of the clear of my eyes. Dan says clear screen. Okay. All right, here we go. I know this chart is a little messy because I had some day trades on here as well. But I did take the 520 crossover on gold at 1840. I did hit one profit target yesterday. I didn't really trade much yesterday other than taking my overnight SPY trade, but I did hit one profit target, which I'm grateful for. It did hold the 50 RSI. Today, it looks like it's closing below the 5 and the 20. And when I buy a crossover, after I buy it, if it closes below both the two moving averages that I got in with, then I'm going to get out of half the position. So I will get out of half the position here on gold. And if the 5 then actually crosses under the 20, I will get out of the second half. Okay, SPY. Real quick, oh man. Okay. I do buy the SPY every day at the close. I hold it overnight. I take the overnight risk. I do this based upon a long-term back-tested study from Liz Ann Saunders at Bespoke Invest since 1993. They tested two approaches. Approach number 1, buy the SPY at the open, hold it through the day, sell at the close. If you use this approach every day since 1993, you'd have returned a negative 13.9% return for your troubles. However, if you did the opposite, which was I do, buy the SPY at the close, hold it overnight, take the overnight risk, that's where I feel like the edge is, and sell the first thing the next morning, you'd have returned a positive 634.2% return. So big difference between when you buy and sell the SPY. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. Of course, we know that. Blue line here is the buy at the close, sell the next morning. Orange line's buy the open, sell the close. Huge difference. Over time, this has just gone up and up and up, but you have to realize that this approach does have potential for multi-year drawdown. So if you're considering using this approach, use a very small position size, maybe like a 5% position size, 10% position size, or divide your maximum risk on, as you would with any one trade, by the value of the 2 ATR, and then that will help you compensate for the volatility. So that being said, I did buy, so I guess we didn't do yesterday. What's today? Wednesday. So I bought Monday here at the close, sold Tuesday for a nice profit, bought yesterday at the close at 252.60, sold at 254.64. So pretty nice overnight trade the last couple days. And we're at 82 RSI. It's unbelievable. I will be buying this again at the close. SWSK. So Brian, Gary, Frank, and Yas. This is a really nice setup. Return to value, sideways motion, false breakout to the downside over here, plus a V2. I bought it at 142.52. The next day it went up, hit profit targets. Yesterday also hit, I think, a couple profit targets. And today I hit 4 profit targets. Unbelievable. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I didn't put a 5th one in there, and it may get close. So this has been a huge trade. About 7.47 from entry to current price. It's at a 70.21 RSI. So this is a crucial point now that we're up to the 70. If it closes below the 70 RSI, I'll go ahead and just get rid of half of what I have left. If it closes above, if it's strong enough to close above, I will keep it. But that's been a great trade. I'm glad Brian, Gary, and Frank and Yes participated in that. Cisco. So Karen, Gary, and Yes, we bought Cisco back here on the 26th of August at 42.22. False breakouts at the downside. V1 went up a little bit, came down. Yesterday, I thought I was going to have to get out with the close below the range here, or a close below the negative third ATR channel. It did hang in there, so I kept it, and I did hit one profit target today. So now positive on the trade. So it's been kind of a long time coming, but did finally get in the money here. WDC. All right. So Quad Racer and I did buy Western Digital back on the 27th of August. Higher low V1, bullish engulfing bar, rejection of the third ATR channel, bought at 32.52. Huge day up the next day, and then a little bit more. I did sell half of my position yesterday because it closed below the 50 RSI. If I buy below the 50 RSI and it goes up and then closes below 50 RSI, I get out of half. But I don't want to get out of all of it because I'm waiting to see if I can get some downside confirmation. So I'm just kind of trying to split the difference. Anyway, I did sell half. It was at a nice profitable level. It is above 1.5 ATRs for my entry. This is the orange line. And you can see big day today, up 4.85%. Very close to hitting that third profit target. I'm up there at 39.29 and it got as high as 39.26. So 3 cents away. But this has been a really nice trade so far, about 11%. So fantastic, and congratulations, Quad. All right, Beyond Meat. All right, so Kamal and Gary and Steve Burns and myself, I think Kamal and Gary and I bought here at 125.10 with the false breakouts of the downside and V1. Next day it went up nicely but closed below the 50 RSI, so I got out of half, moved sideways, had a big day up, rejected the 50-day moving average. Don't get confused, this is the rejection of the 50 RSI, I take half. 50-day moving average rejection, I sold the other half. And today looks like it's going to have a close below the previous day's low. So I'll probably go ahead and take this one off. Steve bought with the 1030 crossover, I believe, or the 520 crossover here at 133.19. The crossover is still in place, but I very likely am just going to take Beyond Meat off today because of rejecting the 50 RSI, rejecting the 50-day moving average, and now we have a close below the previous day's low. So this has been a nice trade, especially in the fact that it had some big, strong up moves that I got with profit targets. REGN. Okay, so I bought this Monday, I think. I bought this Monday at 620.04. I got out of it yesterday when we had that big down day. So I got in at 620.04 and I got out at 592.70. So that was a 4% loss. That wasn't a good one. It rallied back today, but I just wasn't in the mood for it yesterday. And so I decided to go ahead and just take the loss. And I think I'm the only one in there. Yeah. So that one was about a 4% loss. But the positive thing there is because I based my position size on the weekly, my positions, it was a 4% position size of a much smaller position size. Had I based my position size on a daily, then it would have been much higher. So didn't turn out very well, but I'm glad that I did base my position size on the weekly. Okay, so that's all, except for some intraday trades. Let me show you. Here is gold. Now I do have gold as a regular position, but I did find a setup that I liked intraday. And this is it. We had a low. We rallied. We have a lower low. We have a nice divergence here. If you look at this in big picture, we have low with red, we rally to green, we come back lower, we have very small red compared to this deep red, so that is a bullish divergence. I bought it when we went under 30, over 30 in the V1. I bought it here at 181.76. Didn't do much. Here, it rejected the 50 RSI. So I got in at 181.76. I sold half because it rejected the 50 RSI at 182.50. It did move more than 1.5 ATRs for my entry. It was able to close above the 50, so I held it. The next bar closed below the 50-day moving average, so I sold. So again, took profits at 82.05. 82.20. Then we had a close below the previous day's low. 82. Okay. 82.05. 82.20. Oh, these must have been about the same price. Okay, that makes sense. At that point, if I could turn my attention to this the entire time, I would have just waited till a rejection of the 70 RSI or back to even where I would have gotten out, but it would have been a profitable trade because of all the scaling out up here. I just got out here. This was right before the podcast. So, and then I got out of the rest at 182.35. So all in all, good trade. And then Apple, I had about a break-even trade on Apple. Here we go, 5-minute bar. We went below the 200. We went back up above the 200. We came back down, went below it again, closed above it. It did find support at that previous 50 Fibonacci point. Got in at 30.40. Went up initially for me nicely, rejected the 50 RSI. So I got out at 132.34. It had not moved more than 1.5 ATR for my entry. And then So I got out of half with the profit here. I got out of half with a little bit of a loss there, but all in all, it was profitable. Okay, so that's all. Gary said, I exited Cisco and beyond today. We'll update later. Okay. Johan says, RTX. Well, it's a V2, but we came into the value zone. We made a lower high. Whenever you make a lower high, it's better to come back down and wash out that previous low. So then you're setting yourself up for a V1 or V2 with a false breakout. Anytime you have a lower high, it's always best if you then wash out that previous low that before the lower high came and then look for a V1 or a V2. So I don't really like anything here, particularly on RTX. Yes, this is a perfect example. Johan, see how we were above the value zone? We came into the value zone. We came up and we made a lower high, just like the one I showed you before. But do you see how today we wash out the low and now have a V2? So we came down, made a lower high. I want it to wash out that low, which it did, and then a reversal back up. I quite like that one, actually. I'm going to put that one on the list. I like that one a lot. Plenty of volume. Yep. Steve says, VIX almost had another 1030 crossover. Yeah, so the 1030 crossover, you can see, oh, on my chart, it looks like it does have a crossover, Steve. Using the, oh, the 1030. Oh, yeah, I have the 1030 up here. I do have a crossover, I believe, right? 2448, 2442. I know Steve does some trades with weekly puts when the crossover on the VIX happens. Nathan said, would you get in Apple or Tesla on their dips today? No, I would not. I mean, I would not. I would wait for a pullback into the value zone before I would get interested in Apple. Yes, it is a dip today, but this is a bearish bar. You gap up and reverse. So no, I would wait for a further dip in the value zone, and I believe that would probably go for Tesla as well. Yeah, Tesla's a little closer. Here in the value zone, that would be the place, in my opinion, to buy Tesla. Glenn says, Bitcoin and gold taking a hit today. Looks like everyone is chasing the stocks. Glenn says, VIX is above the 50. Warning. Yes, 100%. Apple went down $10 today. Yes, it did at one point. It's only down $3.28 now. Gary said, no on Tesla. They're selling a lot. They're selling $5 billion worth of stock. Bought some puts yesterday, but erred on the side of caution. Oh, you did buy puts. Okay, good. Steve says, you're right. VIX just made the crossover. Okay, well, let's take a look at everybody's trades here. So we have David and Glenn. I believe David bought Fastly here at 79.79. David bought Fastly at 83.87. It is 91.80. It's down today, but still nicely up on the trade. BAC, Gary bought BAC at 26.05. Right now it's 26.02. So just a few pennies underwater, but up today, and a V2, which is a good sign. Johnson & Johnson. Boy, look at that move today. Unbelievable. Frank and Bob bought Johnson & Johnson back at 147.39. It is up today 1.6%, and it's at 153. So really nice trade. Play. All right, Bob has Play. Bob bought Play back here at 14.46, as did I. I got out here. We had that big bar up and then underneath, and I figured incorrectly that was probably the majority of the move and that would probably just go sideways, but I was wrong. And it has rallied another 11.91%. So Bob, what a trade. 22.92%. Looks like it did reject the 70 RSI today. So that is one thing to keep in mind, but really, really great trade. It was a fantastic trade. I was super happy because I don't get big return gains like this usually, but I was really surprised to see it move up, but I'm glad Bob's in there. Goldman Sachs. All right. Steve and Kamal. Kamal bought Goldman Sachs at 203.79. Steve bought it at 206.71. Went up initially, came back down, up 1.98% today. So very nice, gentlemen. Roku. Brian bought Roku at 164.37. It is at 178.15. Down a little today, but nicely up on the trade. PayPal. Brian bought PayPal back here at 174.01. It's 210.90. Beautiful trade. NKTR. Kamal bought NTKR at 1936. It is 1922, so slightly underwater on the trade on this one. UGL. Steve bought UGL at 74.86 based upon the crossover on gold. This is double leverage. This one is down 2.91% today. FAS. Okay. Frank bought FAS with the 520 crossover at 33.79 back there. He got out of 90% of his trade here, left 10% for a runner, which seems like it was a good idea. It did pull back into the value zone, by the way, and then it bounced. It is up 4.37% today, 68.64 RSI. NTNX. Karen bought NTNX at 21.49. Huge move up, just parabolic, strong, big candle bar. I don't know if Karen's still in this, but it is up 28.47%. car. Frank and Jayhawk MBA bought car at 29.54. It is at 30.73. So nicely up. Congratulations, gentlemen. IAU, Frank bought IAU, which is ETF. So this is going to follow gold at 1865. It's 1853. So down about 12 cents on the trade. Alibaba. Gary sold puts on Alibaba. He sold the September 18th, 240, 235. So right now it's 295. So as long as this price stays above 240, he will make the spread based upon what he sold and what he bought. NDAQ Frank. Wow, what a trade. 133.06. That's 137.84. Up 2.24% on the day. And nicely up on the trade. DBX. Kamal bought DBX back here at 1990. It is at 21.64, up 1.5% just today. So beautiful trade there, Kamal. ASK Jackson. Oh, this is okay. This is when Jackson visited us, but it was the wrong symbol. Gary bought SFIX at 22.56. Been a beautiful trade. Down a little bit today, but still up nicely. VRM, Glenn bought VRM at 61.05, down 5.78% today, but still nicely up on the trade. Evan bought Constellation Brands at 178.12. It is 187.92, up 1.6%. Very nice. Kamal bought Match Group. I knew I liked this trade the other day. I didn't take it because I was worried about earnings, but I knew I liked that trade. Bought it at 111.70. It's at 117, up 3.36% today. Zoom, two-tone, bought this the other day. It's down 7.36%, but I'm sure he's still very happy with it. He bought it at 303. It's at 423. Unbelievable. Up almost 40%. And then last is EVGR, Quad bought EVGR at 52.90. It's at 53.49. So up nicely on the day and up nicely on the trade. Okay. Gary says, Steve Burns, will you be buying puts on the SPY as a result? I'll let Steve answer that question. Mount Doji's there. Hey, buddy. Good to see you. Glenn says, like TWOU today. TWOU. Okay. A little bit of a pullback there. Okay, sounds good. Bob says, I got out of play yesterday. Okay. All right, we'll just take care of that. So we'll get done with that. All right. What are we at? 134. All right. Hey, give me about 30 seconds. I see the UPS guy coming and he's going to knock, and so I'm just going to go grab it. I apologize. Hold on. Okay, thank you. Okay. All right. So look, before we look at potential new trades, I don't know why that is doing that today. Oh, here we go. All right. Let's just get away from charts and indicators for a minute and talk a little bit about trading psychology. Really the most important part of trading. There's some really great Facebook and Twitter channels out there that put out great information. If we would just read it and internalize it and use it, it's worth its weight in gold, and it's free. This is from our friend Scott at Scott Trades, on Twitter. He's been here in the chat a couple times, and he's a great educator, works with Dan Fitzpatrick. Let's see what Scott has to say. Write out your trading plan and commit to sticking to your plan. The plan is a directive to yourself. The mark of a superior performer is someone who can give themselves a command and follow it. And you know, there's just something kind of magical about writing it down instead of just making a mental note. It's more formal, right? So you wrote it down and now you're kind of like, yeah, I did actually write it down. It helps. It's just one of those little mind tricks, right? It would be like getting, if you didn't want to drink alcohol anymore and you got a tattoo on your arm that says, I don't drink any alcohol anymore. I would imagine if somebody did that, it would probably have a more positive result than them just saying in their head, I'm not going to drink alcohol anymore, right? Maybe that's a bad analogy, but I think you get the point. Write out your trading plan and commit to sticking to your plan. That plan is a directive to yourself. The mark of a superior performer is someone who can give themselves a command and then follow it. It sounds simple, but it will make a difference. Sit down, quiet room, on the table, pull up a chair, write in a notebook, write out your plan and say you're gonna follow it. And again, nothing works in trading unless you follow your plan. So thank you, Scott Trades, and he's at Scott Trades on Twitter. Give him a follow. He has a great channel on Twitter. Steve says, yes, I will be buying next week, September 11, 357 strike SPY puts if the VIX closes over the 1030. So if the VIX closes over, the 1030 crossover happens on the VIX, Steve will be buying next week's September 11, 357 at the money strike price puts in the VIX. Gary says, thanks, Steve. All right, let me take a quick look, see what's happening before we go through the charts. Gold, of course, I bought it here with the 520 crossover, went up, profit target yesterday. It does look like it's going to close below both the 5 and the 20. These are the moving average that I took to take the trade. Therefore, I will be getting out of half of the trade because of that. And I'll wait to get out of the other half until the 5 crosses under the 20 or I hit my emergency stop. That's my plan. SPY had the nice overnight trade. It just keeps going up. It's unreal. I will be buying this again, and of course, selling it first thing tomorrow morning. SWKS is now under 70. Therefore, because it went over 70 and under 70, I will get out of half of whatever I have left. I did hit 4 profit targets here anyway, so I have less left. But if it closes under the 70, I will sell half of what I have remaining. Have to watch that one very closely at the end. Cisco, doing great. Glad that finally started to work for us. Looks like MACD might go positive. WDC didn't quite get to that 3rd profit target, did it? But still up nicely on the day. At this point, if it closes below the previous day's low, I will get out of half. If it closes below the 50, I will get out of half. But really nice trade. And then Beyond Meat, I am going to go ahead and just get out of Beyond Meat today because I already rejected the 50 RSI. I rejected the 50-day moving average. I moved more than 1.5 ATR for my entry and then closed below the previous day's low. So I'm about done with this one. Okay, let's check out the results of the scanner. Well, big appetite for utility companies today. My goodness, look at that. Talk about a V2. Would have been nice to have bought that V2 false breakout to the downside and V2. Would have been nice to buy that intraday. But you still could buy this with the close over the 200-day moving average. I don't know how the 200-day moving average works as far as with a close under and close over the 200-day moving average. So I'm probably not going to buy it, but it does give a pretty good risk to reward ratio with just a close under the 200-day if you're interested in XLU. But I don't know if it backtests positively with closes under and over the 200. But it would give a decent risk to reward, and there was a lot of volume today. Lilly, Eli Lilly. All right, so here we have a double bottom with the bullish divergence. Here's the low with deep MACD bars. We do rally into some green. We are now lower than that previous low, but look how small the depth the red bars here compared to here. So that is a double bottom with a bullish divergence. Deep red to green on the RSI, to a lower low, equal or lower low, and less red. It's a bullish engulfing bar, it looks like. If it's false breakout to the downside, that one looks pretty good. SPCE, false breakout to the downside over here, and a rejection of the 200-day moving average. It would give a good risk to reward, but I think I'd be more comfortable if we tested it twice, came back up, did a V1, something like that. So I'm going to kind of put that one off to the side. Let's look at TSN. I like TSN. It's a false breakout to the downside over here. V2, under 50, over 50, false breakout to the downside, rejection of the -1 ATR channel. Let's look over on the weekly. Weekly looks good. It's right in the value zone. I like TSN probably the best of those two so far. ARE, bullish engulfing bar, V1, under the 50-day moving average, back over, back in the value zone. Not over the 50 RSI. I don't like that one quite as much. PRT, only 13,000 shares traded. So, it's a nice V1, but it's way too illiquid for me to buy that. NEE, wow. Well, that one moved, didn't it? False breakout to the downside. Been nice if you had bought it right here with the V2 that triggered intrabar, but too much of a chase for me now, so it's too chasey. STMP, it's a V2, but that's about all. It's not in the value zone yet. XLRE, wow, wow, wow. Big day on XLRE, huh? We talked about buying this back here on the 200. I didn't buy it, but that would have been a great V1 close over the 200. It tested that 200 there, tested that 200 there, tested that 200A, and today it, MACD went positive. It's too far of a chase for me at this point, but nice. Siri, it's a higher low V2, not bad. We closed below one. Oh no, we never did close below the -1 ATR channel. So, big day today. V2, higher low V2 for sure. 28 million shares traded. Oh, it's a $5 stock. That's why. All right, I still like the others better. LMT, wow, big move on Lockheed Martin. V1. It's just too far extended for me to buy up here. It's above the 1 ATR channel, so nothing on that for me. Okay, so it really comes down to either Eli Lilly Company with its double bottom, bullish divergence, bullish engulfing bar, MACD's positive, 1.285 million shares. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly, we came back down into the value zone. Looks like we triggered a V1 on the weekly. Not bad. Not a lot of volume. And let's look back over at TSN. I think all in all, I like Tyson Foods best. It's a clean false breakout to the downside. It's a beautiful V2, under 50, over 50. Let's look at the weekly. Yeah, weekly V1. Yeah, I clearly like TSN the best today. And Lilly's in Lily's in a close second. But the reason I like TSN, I think it's better that we have the 50 RSI below us when we have the moving averages above us. Trader Joe said, that's a sign, buy UPS. Oh, right. That was an omen. Well, UPS doing pretty well today. Double top with the bearish divergence. So here we have a high with very high MACD bars. We came back into red bars. Now we're higher and we have no green bars. Dr. Alexander Elder would look at this suspiciously. He would look at this as the second move up did not have much gusto to it, with the implication being that it's running out of steam and will probably pull back. Kamal says EA. It's okay. I mean, it's a V1 under the -1 ATR channel, over, under the 50, over. It's at 49.04, and I believe that we already rejected the 50 RSI, which, as you know, Kamal, that's a bit of a bad omen. So yeah, it looks like it got right to the 50 and then came back under. So no, I don't like this one very much personally. Ollie's Bargain Outlet. Tonight's false breakout to the downside with the V1. It's just in that weird no man's land underneath the -1, but over here. Let's see how low it got intraday. It got to 34. I personally think the better move on this, especially after this big down bar move, Kamal, I would like to see a confluence of that 100-day moving average, -30 RSI, and the third ATR channel. I think that would be the better place, about $5 down. WSM. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I mean, it's a nice false breakout to the downside and a V1, beautiful V1, and a close back over the 50-day moving average. Yeah, I mean, if I were to buy this here, you would have two options. Close under 50 would be one stop, and a close under halfway the washout bar. Today's the washout bar. Let's look at the weekly. Did hold support at the 1.8. It bounced off the 1 ATR channel, so that's good. Yeah, this one's okay. This one's okay, but I do like those other ones better, I have to say. And DGX. Do we go under 30, over 30? Yeah, not bad. Under 30, over 30, rejection of the 200-day moving average, under the -3rd, over the -3rd. Yeah, that's, you know, that's pretty good stuff there. Holding the 50-day moving average on, or 50-week moving average. Yeah, that one's pretty good as well. Didn't trigger the V2, did it? Let's see. 111.24, it's 111. Yeah, under 30, over 30, rejection of the 200-day moving average, right back over the 1 ATR channel. It's not bad at all. That one's not bad at all. So TSN, I believe, is probably my first favorite. DGX is probably my second favorite. I'd like it a little better. I would like it better if it could at least complete that V2 and get back above that 5-day moving average as well. So DGX is my second, and Lily is, That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I mean, it looks pretty good also, I gotta say. MACD went positive. You know what? I actually may buy both of these. You know, one's a drug company, one's a food company. Yeah. Keep in mind, I am going to be getting out of half of my gold, so I'll take some risk off there. I will be getting out of Beyond Meat completely, so I take risk off there. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do then. I'm going to buy TSN and Lilly. A lot of times I don't buy two, but these are completely different industries. They're both good setups. What are we at? 151. Okay, so I'll just get to work here and buy oops, no, this is ooh. Remember when I tell you take 2 seconds and make sure you're buying what you want to buy? I had Lilly in the window to buy it, but I was going to buy it with the amount of shares that I was going to buy for TSN. So I'm glad I took that extra second. So let me make sure now. Let me see. TSN. Is that correct amount of shares? Yes, it is. Okay. And Lilly, Eli Lilly. Okay. So I have TSN, yes. I have Lilly, yes, over there. And let's do this over here. And then TSN over here also. Okay, I'm all set. Now, I'm going to get out of Beyond Meat. SWKS looks like it's rejecting the 70 RSI. I'll have to watch that one a little closer. And then gold, I've got to get out of half. And that's definitely going to be a get out of her right there. I can just tell. So I'm going to sell half my gold. There and there. Okay, so really all I have to watch is SWKS to see if it closes below the 70, and it's right on the bubble right now, right on the bubble. Hey Zach, good to see you, bud. Appreciate you coming. Brian says CLX. That's Clorox, right? I'd feel a lot better about CLX, Brian, if we could get above the 50 RSI and get above the 50-day moving average, right? See how we already rejected both of them? We rejected the 50 and came back, and we rejected the 50 RSI and came back, and we rejected the 50-day moving average and came back. So both of those, that's a bit of a red flag for me. Steve says financials snuck back over the 200-day moving average. Yes, they did. They definitely did. Hey, Mount Doji, good to see you, bud. Mount Doji says Exeloff caught my eye as well. Ooh, Goldman Sachs is doing well for you guys. That's great. Gary says, you just moved the market 20 cents on Lily. Oh, I did? Steve says, I bought SPY 358 strike 911 puts for 359, a contract based upon the VIX 1030 crossover. So Steve bought next week's SPY 358 strike price expiring 911 for $359 a contract based upon the 10 EMA crossing over the 30 EMA. And why that's significant, when the 10 crosses over the 30 on the VIX, it's a bit of a sign of possible volatility coming into the market, which would make Steve's put prices go up. Okay, I just got out of half of Skyworks here. Such a big bar, nothing wrong with taking half, and I may miss it right at the very end. So, okay. So I got out of half here because right now it went over the 70 and under the 70. It may close back over, but I'm totally fine taking half, especially on this big move like that. And then I will be buying the SPY at the end of the day. A couple minutes to go. The Dow's up 476 points. Wow. 79 points. Unbelievable. This is the most runaway market I have ever seen in my life. Incredible. Incredible is all I have to say. Kamal says, Steve Burns, is that 1% of your portfolio? I assume that's what you're risking on the SPY. Karen says, I bought Snap. Looks very strong. Okay, as soon as the market closes, I will get those up. John, hey, good to see you, my friend. Thanks for the kind message on Twitter. Has anyone an opinion about the fact that March buyers will be going long-term? March buyers will be going long-term in the next few weeks. I'm not sure I know what that means. Have an opinion about the fact that March buyers will be going long term in the next few weeks. Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand what that means. So we have about 9 seconds. Looks like we're selling. Okay. So listen, if you have any new entries or exits now, please just put them in the chat and I'll get them all up to date. And remember, I wasn't here yesterday, so if you had any changes yesterday, let me know as well. Before, real quick, hope it's okay, but just want to put in my quick little daily plug and remind everybody that I do offer private one-on-one coaching and teaching lessons in the evening time via course. I do teach a course that's 15 hours. It's all one-on-one, 5 sessions, 3 hours each. I teach you everything I've learned in my experience over 24 years of trading. I teach you everything I've learned from all my coaches and mentors, like the great Steve Burns, who's in the chat with us, Dr. Alexander Elder, Kerry Lavorne, Larry Williams. And so I combine all of these approaches that my coach and my coaches and teachers have taught me, and that's what I teach in my course. Like I said, it's 15 hours, 5 sessions, 3 hours each. It is $1,000, but it is definitely, I think, worth the money. I sincerely believe that. I believe it's worth much, much more. So if you're interested, please reach out to me. You can send me an email. My email's in the description of this video. You can also send me a message on Twitter. And if you do reach out to me, I'll reply and say, hey, how's it going? Thanks for saying hi. Let's set up a Skype call. The Skype call is a free call. There's no obligation. There's no sales pressure at all. I promise I will not even ask you if you want to take the course. I just want to talk to you, get to know you a little bit better, find out about your history and your experience and your goals and your challenges in trading. And then it's a good time for you to ask me questions as well. So, if you're interested, if you've been thinking about it, do it. You're going to be glad that you did, I promise you. And then secondly, if you like today's podcast, I would really appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button. It helps to grow the channel, helps keep the channel around. A lot of people out there need some guidance and to be taught good trading principles. And I think if we could get people here that we could help them do that with hitting the thumbs up button. Okay, so let me take a look real quick here. See where I bought everything. Okay, so overnight SPY trade I bought at 357.70. SWK, oh no, Lily, LLY, I bought at 149.63, and I bought TSN at 63.46. Just laugh every time I see this chart. Unreal. Unreal. I mean, there's no give and play whatsoever in this market. It's just up, 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 and up. Concerns me. It concerns me. It really does. We all know markets go down 2, 3, 4 times faster than they go up. You know, we've seen it again and again where you have a big run up like this with one big down day that takes out a month's worth of gains. I'm not saying that's going to happen anytime soon because I don't know. It could. But, all right. Beyond Meat, I am out of. That was a good profitable trade, but I'm done with Beyond Meat. And then Lily, I bought Lily here today. At 149.63. So underwater on that one. Guess I should have waited till the end a little bit, but. And then TSN 63.46, and that one underwater already. 63.46. We'll see if those can keep going tomorrow. Who knows, right? All right, just real quick on the recaps here. Let me get rid of these lines. All of these guys. So we can see this a little more clearly. Okay. So I did sell half of my gold because we had the 520 crossover. It closed under both the 5 and the 20. could swing back up tomorrow, and if it does, I'm glad I still have half. Could go down tomorrow and have the 5 actually cross under, in which case I'd be glad that I sold half. So that's the way I handle gold. SPY, overnight SPY trade, SWKS, great trade. I did sell half of my position because it went over 70 and under 70. Cisco, great. One profit target, doing fine. WDC, almost at third profit target. Just missed it. 39.29, and it got as high as 39.26. So I missed it by 3 pennies. But anyway, that's all still good. And then, of course, Lilly, I bought here with this double bottom, bullish divergence, bullish engulfing bar, over the 5, over the 10. I'll just have to wait and see how it reacts around the 50. And MACD went positive also. And then TSN, nice false breakout to the downside. V1, under 50, over 50. Lots of volume, too. So that's what I got on my end. Now, let's get to work here. Okay, so Karen bought Snap. $22.90. Okay, good luck with that one, Karen. Hope that goes up for you. Karen got out of Cisco. And got out of NTNX. Ah, what a trade that was, Karen. Proud of you. Beautiful. So nice. Wonderful. Fantastic. Okay, so Gary got out of Beyond Meat, and he sold half also back here. I'm not sure where, but he sold half. So we have Gary out of that. We have Gary out of Cisco. We have Gary and Lilly. And in TSN. Gary says, and 357 strike 911 puts. All right, well, I'm not sure how I'm going to put this up here, but we'll do our best. So Steve and Gary bought SPY 357 strike expiring 9/11 puts. So if you're new to options, with that trade, they're hoping that the market goes down and their options will increase in value. Steve Burns says they are actually cheaper put options than usual, so less than 1% of my trading account for this position size. For taxes, so Brian has Lilly. Okay. Johan has TSN. and Lily. Okay, got you there, Johan. Zach says, thumbs up, friends. Only 8 so far. Oh, thank you, Zach. Zach's always watching the thumbs up. I appreciate that, bud. Thank you. Yes, if you could hit the thumbs up button, I would really appreciate it. Kamal says, no trades. Kept beyond over the 100 SMA. Okay. So I have Steve and Kamal still in beyond. Dan says, yes, I forgot. Thumbs up. Thank you. Yes, in TSN and Lily. Well, I hope this goes up for us. We'll see, right? We never know. Disclaimer, we never know, right? And Lily, we make an educated guess. Out of Cisco and SWKS. Okay. Oh, Yas is our last person. Except for me. I'm still in Cisco. Okay. And SWKS, Yas is out of that. All right. Yas is out. I sold half. And Brian, Gary, and Frank are still in there. That was a good trade, wasn't it? Okay. Brian says, yesterday, doc you. Okay. Yesterday, doc you at $250.29. Wow, that's a good entry. Brian M. Yesterday into earnings, taking most out tomorrow. Okay. Gary says, thanks, Steve Burns. Dan says, been taking profits along the way. No need to make any notes. Okay. Dan says, talking about gold. All right. Yep. And I did hit one profit target yesterday also. Steve says, I'm up 9% on my put so far. Wow. Maybe you bought them intraday. Glenn says, Greg, markets are looking scary. Looks similar to 22nd of January and 8th June prices. Markets fell to 50 SMA within a week. 50 SMA is 328 on the SPY. Oh, on the SPY. $328. Yeah, right down here. Right, Glenn? I mean, look, things don't always go up. They sure seem like it right now, but I mean, I've just been doing this long enough. I watch enough intraday bars where this kind of stuff happens, and I'm always pretty certain that later in that day that you're going to have a big pullback. But I mean, I'm sure we're going to have a pullback to the value zone, like Glenn said, maybe to the 50. Hard to say. It's really hard to say for sure. Okay, did I get everybody's new positions from yesterday and today? I think I did, but so again, I took a safety on gold because it closed below both the 5 and the 20. So my students will understand that. If I have a crossover and the price closes below both the 5 and the 20, both the moving averages that I took, I get out a half as a safety. SPY, overnight SPY trade. Skyworks definitely went up to the sky. What a trade. Wow. Cisco I'm the only one left in Cisco. Now I'm lonely in Cisco. WDC, really good trade here. It's above 50 RSI. If it closes below the previous day's low, I'll get out a half. If it closes below the previous day's low and closes below 50-day moving average, 50 RSI, I'll probably just get out of the whole thing. But this has been a fantastic trade. Gary says, thank you, Greg and group. This market is unreal. Overvalued for sure, but you can't fight the trend. You are 100% right, Gary. I think we're going to look back at this time and we'll remember back then when it went up every single freaking day. Unreal. It's a little bit bearish on the Qs, I would have to say. We opened, we went screaming down, then we rallied back up, but we were not able to close above the open. This is a bit, for you candlestick guys out there, candlestick guys and girls, I'm not sure what this is called. Is it a hanging man? I can't remember. I'm not a candlestick expert because I don't look at candlestick bars, but I believe, if I'm correct, having an open, a big move down, big move back up, but not getting above the open is a bit of a bearish sign. Glenn is at a VRM. Okay, Glenn, nice trade. Let's see, what did Tesla do? Gary bought some puts on Tesla, so I'm not sure where they are, but it was down today. Gary M says, hope you have a great afternoon and clear your mind. Yes, thank you. It's going to be a strange day. This will be the first day that I do my regular routine without Katie. I'll tell you what, yesterday the doctor came by about 9:30 at nighttime, and I had to wait, I think, from like noon until 9:30. It was just brutal. That's why I didn't do the podcast. I was just a hot mess. But anyway, Rami says hammer. Okay, so that's what it's called. Thank you, Rami, on the Qs. As Kamal knows, I am anti-candles. Not because there's anything wrong with them. It's just when I look at them, they make me dizzy. All right, so that's what it's called, a hammer. Zach says, Gary, are you still on? Yes, I am. I'm right here. How can I help you, Zach? So let's see what's happening after hours here. Apple's up 30 cents. So Apple was down today, 2.78 points. The Qs, I'm sure they're up. No, they're down. SPY's up 27 cents. VIX is up. Speaking of VIX the other day, you remember right down in here, I decided not, this would have been the day, the false breakout, the under 30, over 30 in the V1. False breakout from here, breakout from here, plus a V1, plus an under 30, over 30 with positive MACD. What was I thinking? Why didn't I take this? I mean, it's always easy to do in hindsight, isn't it? But when you look at it, MACD is positive, false breakout to the downside, under 30, over 30, V1. Come on, Greg. You know, talk about confluence of signals. It's only up 12%. But truth be told, I did buy some calls on the VIX a couple weeks back, which have paid off. Zach says, are you able to explain the thought on Tesla puts? I would have assumed with the split that it would really accumulate at this level and jump up. Zach says, Greg must have missed the last few days and didn't know about. Oh, Zach said, must have missed the last few days and didn't know about Katie. I'm extremely sorry to hear about that. Thank you, Zach. Yeah, here she is. Isn't she lovely? That was very close to when I first got her. Her owner died. Her owner was in the hospital, and they asked if I would care for her for about 30 days. I said, yeah, I'd love to. And then he was in the hospital for about 90 days, and then he was going to come back out. And then at that point, I was so attached from her, I couldn't stand the thought. But then he passed away. And so the family asked me if I'd like to keep her, and I said I absolutely would. And that was many years ago. So I just love this picture of her. Just encapsulates her personality, looking at you, somewhat suspicious, somewhat just with adoration as well. But I'll miss this girl. But thank you, Zach. Yes, says, it is a hammer, but not really bearish, more like parabolish, what a whipsaw. I remember reading one time, I could be wrong, I'm not an expert on candle formations, but I remember if we get an open, a down, and then a close below the open, but I could be wrong on that. But that was my first thought. A lot of volume here, boy. A lot of volume here today. And let's check that VIX. Yeah, it did. 24.49, 24.42. So, that is a bit of an indication. If you get the 10 crossing over the 30 on the VIX index, from a backtest standpoint, that's when volatility tends to start. I believe, shorting volatility does backtest well as long as the 10 is under 30, but you don't want to short volatility when the 10 is over 30 based upon backtest from Larry Connors, long-term backtest Larry Connors. But interesting market, right? With the markets going up and up and up and the VIX going up and up and up. It's crazy. Doesn't normally happen. Dan says, the shape of a hammer and a hanging man are identical, but difference in the probable position in the trend. Bottom of the trend hammer, close to the top of the trend hanging man bearish. Yeah, says, seems like an exhaustive move. Maybe that's what I was, oh, dang it. Okay. So good day today on everything except for Beyond Meat and gold. And like I said, I don't usually buy two positions in one day, but I did buy Eli Lilly. This is a good time for me to show you again if you're interested. But here we have this low with this very deep MACD bars. That means there was a lot of momentum into this down move, lots. But then we rallied and painted some green MACD. Now we went lower, but here there's hardly any deep MACD bars. Very, very shallow compared to here. So the implication of that from a MACD math standpoint is that this move down was not as strong, and the implication is that that is something to be interested in for a possible bounce up. This is what Dr. Alexander Elder uses. He believes that double bottoms with bullish divergences and double tops with bearish divergences are the strongest indicator in technical analysis. That's his opinion. I'm not sure. I agree, but Dr. Alexander is a legend. And if you've ever read his trading book, Trading for a Living, it's a really great book. And I have a link to it in the description of this video. I have a link to all my favorite trading books, but we shall see. We shall see. And then TSN was just a picture perfect false breakout. And one more time, we were above the value zone. We came into the value zone. We made a lower high. When you make a lower high, I want it to wash out that previous low before I get in. Yesterday, it washed it out. Set off all the stops for people that had their stops with the swing low, and then right back up. And we rejected the -1 ATR channel. We rejected the 50 RSI. We shall see. My stop on this trade, by the way, will be halfway of the washout bar. Here's the washout bar, yesterday's bar. So about halfway from a Fibonacci standpoint is the correct end of day stop for me. And then we better look over at Lily. This one's a little tougher. I would probably go with a close below the -1 ATR channel, which dovetails just nicely with that halfway of today's bar. So yeah. So if tomorrow we get a close below halfway of this bar and a close under the -1 ATR channel, that will be my exit point for a loss. Gary says, Zach, stock splits don't necessarily imply a move in either direction. Tesla's down because the company is planning to sell $5 billion worth of stock. In addition, Tesla shares fall as largest outside shareholder cuts holdings, citing portfolio restrictions. Yeah. Well, they're going to sell $5 billion more worth of stock, which is going to increase the float and dilute also. You know, I'm not surprised companies, you know, with these valuations that they're selling now, because they're selling at huge prices. So this is a great time for companies to raise stock based upon stock price. Zach says, interesting. I will have to research that more prior to buying for what you would be long-term. Thank you for your thoughts. Yeah, stock splits, they don't change the fundamentals of the company really whatsoever. I mean, you get a cheaper price, but there's more shares, but people seem to think it's cheaper and they buy it. So there actually is some effect on it, but technically there is no fundamental difference at all when people, when there's stock splits. And I might add, whenever you have a lot of stock splits, historically, you're very near a top. Gary says, not to mention the fact that it was trading at the 6 ATR channel where Greg will tell you most stocks fail. That's true. Most stocks, see, it got to the 6th, came back, got to the 6th, back, came back. Doesn't mean it has to. And in this market, it doesn't respect it. But generally, the 6 ATR channel is about it. Long-term, probably not a bad idea, but would wait for it to come into value. Yeah. Down in here, a lot of people are looking for a dip on Tesla. A lot of people are looking for, who else was it? Who asked me earlier today about buying a dip? I can't remember now. Somebody, oh, it was Nathan. Nathan asked me about buying a dip. People are waiting. There's going to be buyers. If you miss a big move up, people are like, I want to get in that, but wait for a dip. So, you know, value zone is way down there, but that's where I would wait. What would that be? About $119. All right. Well, listen, everybody, thank you for coming today. I appreciate it. Thanks for all the nice messages about Katie. It was wonderful of you. Thank you so much for taking the time to do that. It really helped yesterday. So listen, go out, have a good day. Try to go out, do something nice for somebody today, just a smile or a wave or hello. If you could do that for a human, and also do a nice thing for an animal each day, that would be perfect. Johan says, thanks a lot, Greg. It must be tough for you, but I hope you feel a little better every day. Time heals. Thank you, Johan. Appreciate that, bud. And I'm looking forward to our lesson, which is, it's Friday, right? Yeah, it's Friday, 8 o'clock my time. So, yeah, September 4th. So have a good rest of your day, everybody. Take care. Be nice. Be good. And hit the thumbs up button if you can. And Kamal says, thanks, Greg. Happy biking. Hiking. Yep. I was going to say, I'm not biking. So, all right. Take care, everybody. Hopefully talk to you tomorrow. Have a good day. Bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.